Hi, I'm David. I'm from Fluent Mind, and today I want to talk about the psychology of having a stammer. We all know what words we'll block on and what tics we have either whilst we block or try to break the block. I used to slap my leg, my chest, or just keep blocking until I ran out of breath. The strange thing is, we all know that we can say the words if we're on our own, are talking to pets, are talking to family we trust, or loved ones, or close friends, or if we sing. So why is it we block on the same words time and time again? Could it be because we've become habituated to the fact? Is it because we've created a pattern in our minds saying that we will stammer on certain words? Or is it because we physically can't say the words? Well, we've just established that we can say the words we normally block on, so it can't be physical. So perhaps we could consider the possibility that it's a psychological issue. We keep telling ourselves that we will block, we can't possibly say the words because we've always stammered on them. We reinforce the habit of stammering, creating a stronger and stronger bond between thought and action. What if there was a way to break the habit and lessen the bonds we have tying us to stammering? What if we can start to speak more fluently without the negative thoughts constantly running through our minds about saying words? Well, there are ways which will give confidence, which break the bonds and stop the negative reinforcement when we speak. That is why we are all here after all. To start with, instead of focusing on the time you stammered, focus on when you didn't. I know it's all too easy to chastise yourself when you block ordering a coffee or ordering food. What about remembering the last hour you spent talking to friends with perfect speech, playing with your children, laughing and feeling so happy that life couldn't get any better than this? Have a journal writing what went well, how happy you felt to order the taxi and chat to the driver all the way. That time you made a call which started off scary but ended up laughing with the other person. These are the bonds we need to reinforce. These are the times you need to burn into your memory and strengthen. These are the memories which give you the freedom to start living on your terms. Also, stop being so hard on yourself. If a 4-year-old child came into you asking for a glass of milk but started to stammer, would you tell him he's stupid? Tell him he shouldn't put himself in the situations and just not speak again? Tell him that he's an idiot just because he wanted to ask for something? No, of course you wouldn't. Well, I'd certainly hope you wouldn't anyway. But we do this every time we stammer or block. We berate ourselves so much worse than anyone ever could. We are our own worst critic. We need to realize that every negative thought will only help continue the stammer. Instead of immediately going into the hypercritical mode if you stammer, think about what you would say to that 4-year-old boy. Give yourself goals. Every week, give yourself a goal of something you're going to do. Write it down. Tell somebody what you're going to do, and then get them to hold you accountable for it. For example, if you love hot chocolate and cream and sprinkles, but have only ever ordered a small because you believe you will stammer on the L for large, on Sunday night, write it in your journal that this week at some point you'll order a large hot chocolate with cream and sprinkles. Talk to somebody you trust, a partner, a parent, a friend, and then you tell them, I'm going to order this and I want you to hold me accountable if I don't. I say this from experience because more than once I've been driven to make that order and once even got pushed to the front of the queue much to the annoyance of everybody else behind me, but that's the advantage of having a really close friend who just wants the best for you. So, Monday comes and goes because you didn't have time to make that trip. Well, that's perfectly fine. We don't all have time to spare. Tuesday, however, you go in and stumble on the L for large, but you know you can say large because you've spent the last 3 hours just saying it over and over again. So you breathe, you relax, and you say large perfectly. 2 minutes later, you're sat with the largest hot chocolate you've ever seen. Seriously, it takes 2 hands to lift it. But inside you feel so happy and excited because you finally got exactly what you wanted for the first time. You text the person you told about getting the drink, and in a fit of happiness and madness, you phone them as well. You tell them all about it, how you feel so pleased and excited. You finish the hot chocolate after 15 minutes, feeling very sick and about to go into a sugar coma, and realise that it was just way too much in the end, and typically you much prefer the small one you've always ordered. But it's the happiness you feel, the excitement of finally ordering something you want and getting it, the sheer pleasure of knowing that you can do it. These are the emotions you write in your journal. Hold on to them and be as descriptive as you can. Forget the stumble at the start because everyone stumbles on words, and stop thinking you're special on that. Now, you've got one goal under your belt. Go on and write another and start the whole process again. So, these are the 3 things we need to start working on. Focus on the good speech and start a speech journal. Stop berating yourself and thinking what you should say to the 4-year-old instead. Plan an achievable goal each week and tell somebody you're going to do it. See, I'd love to hear from you and get updates on what you've been doing, and if you can't find someone who's willing to hold you accountable, then message me. I'll do it. I'm more than happy to phone you or message you and see how you're doing. Now, or what you could do is even talk to other people on this group and you hold each other accountable. But you need to be positive. You can't give harsh feedback. Everything's about helping one another. Well, that's it for me this week. Keep an eye out for the new videos coming out and we'll speak soon.